Hi everyone. Morning, good evening, good night. I hope you are all fine. I am already fine. So yesterday I had like 40 degrees. It was strong, but it was fine because I usually enjoy having fever. So it's not that I'm in pain or so. No, it's more creative and I really enjoy it. So, but I had to be in bed. So I think that we can start as as normal this month of Libra, more balanced. I even had a little bit of fever till 2 hours ago, but now I'm really fine. So this is why I'm a bit messy now, but it will be fine. So the information for today, as you may have read in the blog, is light and darkness. And this issue is for today because uh, today is the third eye, which is related with the pineal gland, and the pineal gland is the one that made us sleep or wake up. So this is why biologically the concept of light, light, clarity, and darkness and going to sleep are related with the third eye, with the pineal gland. So this issue of light and darkness is something really deep in the spiritual path because we all, those who work for the consciousness, um, have been sometime in kind of a war or a fight, believing that we are in the light, fighting for light, and to put ourselves over the darkness. So one of the things that we need to understand about our relationship with light and darkness is that through thousands of years, what we have done was to evolve as day animals. This means that we as humans evolve by living during the day, and during the night we have to protect ourselves because there were some animals that would attack us. So what we have done in evolution, we started to protect ourselves, to go inside, to go all in a cave or a house, so we could be protected from all the evil things that could kill us in the outside during the night. So we were like kind of expecting to keep living to survive the night, so we could keep living during the day. So this is mostly a biological concept from our evolution in a world like this, a world that was looking for light and the energy of light to survive, like photosynthesis in the plants and then the animals eating the plants and so on. So this is something that has been happening through thousands of years, and this is why also we used to say the animals that move through the night, we usually relate them with the evil. So the reason why I wanted to explain this about how most of these things part of the biology is because in the spiritual world we used to project the the philosophical aspects into many other realms of of ethereal reality, but usually the root of many of our perceptions of today, many of our projections of today, they are not coming from different dimensions. They are coming just from things that we have lived in this world, in the process of evolution of this world. This is why it's important to understand that sometimes the biggest answers that we are looking for, sometimes in the outer universe, are very close to us in nature. So we relate light and darkness to the pineal gland because we are animals that evolved through the day. So the pineal gland, what it does is makes us go to sleep so we could rest, so we could storage and earn energy while sleeping in the night, and then we wake up. The pineal gland is the one in charge of us waking up. We do this practice every day in the third dimension because we always go to sleep every night and then we wake up again during the day. So this is why it's also related to the eyes, this gland, because it's the one that captures the light when you wake up. So kind of this is the way in which we recognize light and dark in our body. But one of the things that we need to understand is that when we are in the path of consciousness, what we used to do is to not only wake up in the third dimension, but when you start to be aware, you recognize about your multidimensionality, and suddenly you also wake up in the fourth dimension, in the fifth dimension, and so on. Not only the third dimension. But if we don't understand how it works in the third dimension, we are not going to be able to understand the others when we wake up into other dimensions. So this is why we need to picture how it works here, how it works first in the matter, in the nature. Usually people in the spiritual world, when they start to open its inner eye to another level of consciousness, what we usually do is to see the fourth dimension. And when we awake in the fourth dimension is where we can see those things that we may call angels, demons, and all those beings that they seem to be in like a war. And we believe or we project that the universe is like that there is evil and good and angels and demons in the whole universe. But that's only in the fourth dimension. When you go to the fifth dimension, it disappears. It's different. When you go to the sixth dimension, also is totally different. So the perception of how it is light and dark in each dimension is completely different from one another. To understand how we relate with the fourth dimension, we have to understand that sometimes, well, mostly, what we do as humans is to project something from someone into another person. Like, for example, for sure, it should have happened to you that you had a friend. You had a friend in this moment in this life, and you project the image of your mother or your father into that friend because it reminds you your parents, for example. So we usually do that. We project things from our family into other people because it's a way that our body feels protection, feels security. It's something that we usually do. This is, for example, the normal thing that a lot of people feels that happen. For example, those people that marry someone that is exactly as one of their parents. This usually happens in the nature of the body, because it's a way of evolution. It's a way of how the body is trying to find similar patterns so you could feel secure, because if they are similar to your family, this means that you can survive because your family gave you life. So this is kind of like that. So we project into other persons things from the persons that we had very close in our life, just for survival. Those things that we usually project from one person of our life into another person of our new life, these projections that we usually do, we also do it between dimensions. So from the third dimension, we also project to the fourth dimension. So one of the things that we start to do is to project the ideas, the culture, the biology that we have lived in the third dimension into also the fourth dimension. What we have done with the fourth dimension is to project all the things that we created in the third dimension, like the idea of kingdoms, of warriors, light workers, and all this kind of different things that are more related with our society, with the way we live in our third dimensional world. And we project it there in the fourth dimension. And because the fourth dimension doesn't have matter like us, they can take any shape. So this is why all the projections that we do with these animals that attack us and all these kind of things that usually are in our subconscious from the history of our planet are projected there, so they take the shape of those things. Even if we have a culture, and in the fourth and the fifth dimension they also have different cultures, the projections of dimensions are simply perceptions of one reality. So this means that if we analyze in our dimension this reality, which is nature, what we can understand is that that nature also expresses itself in different dimensions. In the fourth and the fifth and sixth dimension, we also have plants, animals, and different kind of functions of beings that they work like in nature. When we watch animals, plants, insects, and everything, how it works here in nature, we can also picture how the nature of fourth dimension could work. So one of the main things that we we have to understand about nature in the whole universe is that the main base of this, the main base of nature, is to earn as much energy as possible. This concept of saving energy in the universe has made that we all had to evolve to develop the whole universe according to take that energy, to save that energy. For example, we as humans or as animals in this world, one of the ways in which many of the beings do this is by eating the energy in animals, plants. By eating the energy, you can save much energy, but in the atoms, for example, is about balance and how to share the charges of energy in between them. So also this exchange of energy happens too in between the different dimensions. So basically what usually the universe does is not to make separated beings earning energy, saving their own energy. What the universe does is to find harmony in between many beings that are trying to save energy by interacting and exchanging energy. So this is what we can see in nature, but also what happens in other dimensions. So take this image of the nature between dimensions. Imagine that the third dimension is like a tree with fruits, and the fourth dimension is like all the insects that live in the tree and eat from the tree. What we can picture about this image is that maybe those insects are kind of killing the tree, or they are pollinizing the tree. Normally, we may think that the insects are eating the tree, but what is really happening is that they are helping the tree. So we usually, when we see the world of the insects, we can understand how the insects are helping the life of the tree. So sometimes we can feel that some of those insects become parasites, and usually those are the ones that calls your attention. That's when they become a parasite that you cannot control. But these parasites are not the law. They are not the base of the system. They are exceptions of the system. We can picture that the beings of the fourth dimension, like angels and demons, they are mostly like butterflies, like ants, or living in the tree. And it's us, the humans, who project an idea over them. So this is why when we speak about light and darkness, we have to understand that we are talking about nature. Today I wrote about the idea that imagine that an angel is like a flower and a demon is like a bee. And so the bee can sting and can hurt you. But the main goal of the bee is not to hurt you. The main goal is to use the energy of the angel to create its honey. And the flower, the angel, is using the bee, the demon, to spread, to pollinize, to create more trees. Throughout our whole life, we are constantly feeding angels and demons. Basically, all those beings are eating, they are looking for energy. And we, as humans, we give a lot of energy. We nourish angels and demons throughout all our lives. Because instead of just being in the center with our own energy, what we used to do is to just take energy around. So somebody has to eat that energy. If that person, for example, is giving too much energy, sometimes maybe you can experience possessions and the demons taking the body and all those kind of things. But the reason why it happens is because not because the demon is a bad thing, is because it is just eating. basically what we have to do with this is to acknowledge that we have to that anyway, in any way, we are going to feed someone from the fourth dimension, because we are all connected constantly in links of energy. I cannot be separated from anyone. I will be connected with everyone anyway. So what I have to do is to be strong in myself, to use the emotions to myself so they are not taken out away from other beings. And what I have to do with those other beings is to give them something as an offer, like fruits, like flowers, like things that gives energy, with the intention that this is for you. So, for example, should be things that they can disintegrate, like a fruit, something like that. So you give it with the intention that this is from my energy of love to you as a gift. So they can consume that energy without the need of giving them from my own emotions. In the case of possessions, we also have to talk with the darkness with love, because they just want to take a place that they believe they they believe they belong to. With love, you just show them another way, that there's many places bigger and beautiful where they could take the energy from. Besides all this, because we are going to speak about this some other day, what we have to picture to understand is that light and darkness is a system of exchange of energy. So both of them are the same. One of the things that I said once is that there is no darkness. It doesn't exist really, darkness, because darkness only exists because as a projection of light. So, for example, when you have a light here and an object here, the light projected over the object, the matter, will create the shadow in the other side. So the shadow is only created because of light. Shadow doesn't exist by itself. It's impossible to exist by itself. Shadow and darkness only exist because of light. So everything that we usually say is darkness is not darkness by itself, but it is light. Light, or the distortion of light. Okay, that's what darkness is. So anything that exists that we may believe is darkness is not darkness, is the distortion of the light. So there's in the universe, this doesn't have any sense when we say there is a darkness and light and they have a fight to try to control the universe. It doesn't have any meaning. It doesn't have any coherence in the universe, because for the universe, darkness doesn't really exist. So this is why everything that exists comes from the light, even those things that we perceive as darkness. Sorry that I am like very slow today, but I am like still sweating because of the fever, so kind of dizzy. Today talk, I know, is something that is difficult for many. I can feel in some in the energy in some people that this goes almost against most of the things that we usually believe. So, of course, there's much energy of what happened with the evil things and the bad things. So don't worry, because we are gonna talk about that in the next days, about the good and bad. In a few days, we are going to talk about what is good and bad. Today, about light and darkness, is about the system of exchange of energy, not about good and bad. And I apologize, but I am kind of dizzy. I am not going to be able to stand for the meditation. I thought I would, but I really can't. Mostly because I have to hold the energy and I can't do that, and I'm very dizzy. So sorry. The vibration of today is Ma. The statement is I am the destiny of all perspectives. The code of today is physical pattern S. And it says, when we find ourselves lost in the immensity of the web, we have to overcome the test of getting trapped in it. The S refers to the crossroads, the moments of conflict, where we can get lost and doomed. However, at the same time, refers to the lesson learned by every mistake, fall, conflict, for every problem has a solution. So remember that you have the music in the blog, and the task for today is to draw or dance or to compose some music um, according to light and darkness. So thank you for being there, and see you tomorrow at the same time. Bye. As I take a deep breath, I feel how the oxygen comes through my nose towards my heart, my lungs, blood, organs and muscles, and I perceive all this oxygen, all this air inside my body as the wind, making my whole body more light, soft. I perceive how the air within me and the air around me become like one, as if I have nothing more than air inside my body. Use your imagination to perceive around you a beautiful place over a mountain, and you find yourself at the edge of that mountain, looking into a valley way far below, in a beautiful and wide environment. The sight scene is astounding. I perceive the wind from the valley coming towards me. I feel the fresh air in my face and all the skin through all my body. As I open my hands with the palms to the sky, touching the light of the sun, I perceive the breeze filling up my body with energy, coming first through my feet, going up through my knees, hip, waist, back and chest, arms, shoulders, my neck, all my head, and I feel my hair waving softly in the wind. I recognize here and now that this place represents my balance, the axis where I will find my equilibrium. Take a deep breath. I perceive the light of the sun shining on my hair, on the top of my head. I perceive that the light that is coming from the sun starts to shine brighter and brighter on the top of my head, in my crown, and suddenly it divides in two rays of light heading to my hands. I see this light filling up with a huge amount of light in both hands, becoming golden, a source of gold. I feel the weight of all this light in my hands. I recognize that in one hand I find my eternal self, and in the other hand I find my finite self. Take a deep breath. Take your hands to your heart and bring both lights as one unique source in your heart, unifying them with the sound. No. Ma, ma, na. Take a deep breath and take your hands again to the sides of your body. Take a deep breath as you perceive and allow the light of the sun coming to the center of your head, to the third eye, and from there, through the eyes, the light splits in two, and the two rays starts to fill up both hands with this energy. Feel how it starts to shine until you feel the heavy of this source of energy in both hands. In one of your hands, you find light. In the other one, you find the darkness. Take a deep breath and recognize the power of these two forces and bring them both with your hands to your heart, integrating both of them as one only source. And I activate both of them as one through the sound. Take a deep breath and again put your hands to the sides. Irradiating the light from inside through the cords. With a vibration in my throat, I irradiate two rays of light towards my hands. As I feel the two rays filling up my hands, I can feel the weight of this new energy, as if I am holding gold. I recognize that in one of my hands I find my truth, and in the other one I find my lies. Take a deep breath and bring this light towards your heart. With my hands, I bring these two sources of energy to the center, to the core of my chest. and I unify both of them as the same source through my sound. I recognize I am the strength of the eternity in a finite body. I am the unity between all the lights and shadows. I am the product of all my lies and truth. I am destiny of all truths. I am destiny of all truths. I am destiny of all truths. So I begin to bring all this consciousness through my body by caressing, massaging, stretching and yawning. And when you are ready, come back here and now, opening your eyes. So, like this, we have the 3 days integrated. Thank you everyone for being there and to be patient, and see you tomorrow. Rest.